Emotional extradition is a term not yet enshrined in formal psychological vocabulary. However, it aptly captures the process of forcibly removing yourself from emotional vulnerability after experiencing heartbreak, betrayal, or significant trauma. It's the act of barricading the heart, extracting it from the treacherous landscape of connection, and seeking refuge in the stark, often lonely, fortress of self-preservation. Today we will delve into the psychology of emotional extradition, exploring how individuals enter survival mode, the mental mechanisms at play, the profound difficulty in lowering one's guard again, and the difficult journey back to trust, both in yourself and in others. When faced with intense emotional pain, our psyche, wired for survival, activates a complex cascade of protective mechanisms. Betrayal, rejection, or loss triggers a profound sense of vulnerability, threatening our sense of safety and stability. This is often experienced as a profound shock, leaving individuals feeling disoriented, helpless, and deeply insecure. The amygdala, the brain's emotional center, kicks into overdrive, registering the experience as a threat. In response, the prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thought and emotional regulation, struggles to maintain control. This neurological shift triggers a survival response akin to the fight, flight, or freeze reaction to physical danger. In emotional extradition, this manifests as emotional numbing. This is a deliberate blunting of feelings, a disconnect from the very emotions that are causing pain. This can involve suppressing thoughts, avoiding triggers, and engaging in activities that distract from the emotional turmoil. Hypervigilance. This is defined as a state of constant alertness, scanning for potential threats and future pain. This can lead to anxiety, paranoia, and difficulty relaxing. Every interaction is scrutinized for hidden motives, and vulnerability is viewed as a weakness. Avoidance. This is when we find ourselves actively steering clear of situations, people, or topics that could trigger painful memories or emotions. This can result in social isolation, difficulty forming new relationships, and a feeling of being trapped within oneself. Control, a desperate attempt to regain a sense of power and mastery over one's life. This might involve becoming overly critical, perfectionistic, or controlling in relationships as a way to prevent future betrayal or abandonment. Skepticism. This becomes a pervasive distrust of others and a belief that people are inherently selfish or unreliable. This serves as a shield against future disappointment, but it also prevents genuine connection and intimacy. The mental explanation for this shift lies in the need to protect the self from further harm. The injured individual internalizes the trauma, creating a narrative that casts them as vulnerable and susceptible to pain. They construct mental models of relationships based on the past experience, leading to negative expectations and self-fulfilling prophecies. The world becomes a dangerous place, and emotional connection is perceived as a liability. Once entrenched in survival mode, the prospect of lowering our guard and allowing someone in again becomes terrifying. The fortress of isolation, though lonely, provides a sense of safety and control. The thought of opening ourselves up to vulnerability, of risking another heartbreak, is often unbearable. There are several factors that contribute to this difficulty. Negative conditioning. This is when the traumatic experience has conditioned the individual to associate vulnerability with pain. The brain has learned to anticipate negative outcomes in relationships, making it difficult to trust positive intentions. Fear of repetition. This is the fear of repeating the past, which then perpetuates the cycle of isolation. We anticipate that any new relationship will inevitably end in betrayal or disappointment, leading to a reluctance to invest emotionally. Erosion of self-worth. Trauma often diminishes self-esteem and self-worth. We may begin to believe that we are unworthy of love or happiness, further fueling our reluctance to engage in relationships. Loss of trust and intuition. Betrayal can shatter our trust in our own judgment and intuition. We may second-guess our feelings and struggle to discern genuine intentions from manipulative behavior. We can get accustomed to the comfort we find in the familiarity of pain. Ironically, there can be an awkward comfort in the familiar pain of isolation. It's a known quantity, a predictable state, while vulnerability represents the unknown and the potential for further hurt. Coming back from emotional extradition is a slow, deliberate, and often painful process. It requires courage, resilience, and a deep commitment to healing. The key lies in gradually dismantling the fortress of isolation and learning to trust again, starting with yourself. There are some steps that can be taken to regain the ability to trust in others. Challenge your negative thoughts. Work to replace negative thought patterns with positive, realistic ones. Try to dismantle the limiting beliefs that perpetuate fear and distrust. Learn to trust your intuition. Pay attention to your gut feelings. As you heal, your intuition will become a valuable guide in discerning trustworthy people and situations. Release anger and resentment towards yourself and others. Forgiveness is not necessarily condoning what happened, but it's about freeing yourself from the burden of negativity. Remember to embrace the power that I know you have inside you. As you traverse this path, remember that you are not defined by your past traumas. Recognize your intelligence, your strength, and your resilience. You have survived, you have learned, and you are evolving. The ability to love and trust requires immense courage, and you are capable of both. Emotional extradition is a complex and painful response to trauma. While it serves as a necessary survival mechanism in the immediate aftermath of betrayal or loss, it can become a prison that prevents genuine connection and happiness. Coming back from emotional extradition requires courage, self-compassion, and a willingness to confront the pain of the past. Ernest Hemingway once said, "The best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them." As you embark on this journey, remember that you are inherently worthy of love and happiness, and that your capacity for resilience is far greater than you may realize. Trust yourself, believe in your strength, and know that the light of connection awaits you on the other side of the fortress. Perhaps you have been assigned this mountain to show others that it can, in fact, be moved.